Have you ever prayed and heard nothing back? No sign, no answer, just silence. You asked with faith, you believed, you waited, and still nothing changed. So the question is, if God hears everything, why do some prayers go unanswered? This is one of the most honest and difficult questions in the Christian faith, because prayer is supposed to be powerful, right? Jesus said, "Ask and it will be given to you." So what happens when it isn't? Today, we're not going to give shallow answers or cliches. We're going to explore this deeply, biblically, honestly, and thoughtfully. First, we need to ask something important. Are prayers truly unanswered? Or are they answered differently than we expect? Sometimes we treat prayer like a transaction. I ask, God gives. But in the Bible, prayer is more like a relationship than a formula. Think about it. A loving parent doesn't say yes to everything their child asks. Not because they don't care, but because they see what the child cannot. So could it be that some unanswered prayers are actually answers we don't yet understand? The Bible doesn't ignore this struggle. It actually shows it clearly. Take the Apostle Paul. He prayed 3 times for God to remove what he called a thorn in the flesh. And God's answer? My grace is sufficient for you. Not healing, not removal, just grace. Or think about Jesus himself in the Garden of Gethsemane. He prayed, "Let this cup pass from me." And yet, he still went to the cross. If even Jesus experienced a prayer that wasn't answered the way he asked, then maybe unanswered prayer isn't a sign of weak faith. Maybe it's part of something deeper. There are several ways theologians have tried to understand this. Sometimes what we ask for simply doesn't align with God's greater plan. And that's hard to accept, because it means we don't always know what's best. Some prayers aren't denied, they're delayed. But waiting can feel exactly like silence. And in that silence, doubt grows. What if prayer isn't just about changing circumstances, but about changing us? Patience, trust, surrender. These things are often formed in the waiting. This is the hardest one. Some prayers, especially for healing, protection, or relief, seem like they should be answered. And yet, suffering still exists. There is no easy explanation here. Only the uncomfortable truth that we don't fully understand how God works. Let's be honest about the questions people are afraid to ask. Does God even care? Am I praying wrong? Is my faith too weak? These are real doubts, but the Bible never teaches that God only responds to perfect prayers. In fact, some of the most powerful prayers in Scripture are raw, emotional, even desperate. So maybe the issue isn't that you're doing it wrong. Maybe it's that prayer isn't meant to be a tool for control, but a place of connection. And sometimes the connection doesn't come with clear answers. Here's a thought that might change how you see everything. What if God's silence is not absence? What if he is present, even when he is quiet? Because silence can mean many things. It can mean wait. It can mean trust me. It can even mean I'm working in ways you can't see. Faith isn't just believing when prayers are answered. It's believing even when they're not. And that kind of faith is not easy, but it might be the kind that transforms us the most. So next time you feel like your prayers are going unanswered, don't rush to the conclusion that God isn't listening. Maybe the answer is different. Maybe it's delayed. Or maybe it's something deeper than a simple yes or no. But now I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt like your prayers weren't answered? What happened? Share your story in the comments. This is a space for honest conversations. And if you're searching for deeper, real answers to difficult questions about faith, subscribe to Sacred Questions, because some questions are too important not to ask.